Okay, Mr. Benjamin, thank you for coming on the program.
Blessed to be here.
Yeah, so I thought we could start by going through your bank statements, looking through, some interesting things that happened during the month, and we can just talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
So, just generally speaking, right, beginning balance $995 and ending balance $1,008. So not really adding anything to our savings. This is the SoFi account.
I'm just wondering which month that was.
Oh, this was the month of March.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So that's not a typical month, is what you're saying?
No, I was just trying to. I mean, every month has been kind of atypical for the last sort of couple of years. It's been tricky to have a typical. I think I've only just sort of in the last month or two found a kind of normal amount that I can sort of spend every month that isn't sort of unusual or going over what I have even earned, I think. Sorry, there's more context than needed probably.
Sure, no, it's all good. Okay, so yeah, I highlighted some interesting things that we could talk about or that I had questions about.
Mm-hmm.
You had a PayPal for Mint Mobile for $114.
114. Yeah, so I use Mint Mobile instead of like a normal contract plan. You can pay in 3, 6 or 12 month blocks for your payment plan. From what I found, it does work out generally cheaper, and it means that I can just buy my phone on Amazon for $180 or something. Okay. I don't like being stuck in contracts if I don't have to be. My mum was always like that and advised me against it, so I'm kind of stuck with that. Okay,
good. Okay, so that's the phone bill.
I think that was like a 3 months. That was probably a 3 months and like unlimited everything, I think, apart from hotspot. But yeah.
Okay, cool. And PayPal FCP Euro.
Oh yeah, how much was?
$135.
I'm trying to remember what that was specifically. That was March. It would have been car parts. I'm just trying to remember if it was for the Golf or if that was like for the Jetta after I think it was for the Jetta. I can't remember what it would have been though. It would have been for car parts, and that they were definitely necessary car parts. I can't remember what it would have been for the Golf, but if it was for the Jetta, I could show you some photos of some of the like the shocks and the CV joints. They were like sort of falling apart, so I had to replace it. It was kind of unsafe. Okay. But I don't know for sure if that's that one or not. But,
okay. Yeah. All right. And then we had a refund, GCCCD. Oh, yeah. $425.
That's school, that's community college. So that was Kuyamaka. That was financial aid being given to me. They call it a refund. I guess it is just, that's why I don't know why it's called a refund.
Yeah. What were you studying at school?
That was the automotive program. The financial aid was weird there. They kept having issues because I started the program expecting every time I was at UCSD or Santa Barbara City College, you'd get the financial aid at the beginning, or you'd get a large block of it at the beginning so you could buy your books and prepare for the 6-7 weeks ahead or something like that. There, they don't do it. I didn't get anything. I got that. That was maybe 8 weeks into the semester, and then I got the rest of it, I think, in week 13 after I dropped about 2 of the classes already. That was weird. It was always, I constantly was waiting for financial aid, and that was really frustrating because it was like, I should be fine right now. I'm waiting for this, and I'd contact them. They were really not helpful. For a few months it's been quite frustrating but I'd like to get into a position where I'm not having to rely on financial aid to support myself. It's not something I'd want to be in.
Yeah. Are you going to continue with that program?
Yeah. I'm easing off on it. I was going to just try and get it done as quickly as possible, but I think I've been studying at school in some form or another for 8 or 9 years, and I was unwell for a while, and I tried to continue studying, and it just killed any sort of desire for me to do it. I sort of failed in 2 semesters while trying to do treatment as well, and it just sort of killed any desire for me to want to go back to school in that moment. I decided to go something completely different, which is the automotive area, which is what I'm doing now, starting from the beginning. Was going to try and do the 2-year program. I think I'm just going to ease off, do maybe half the classes, take it a bit slower. I can move up at work as that's going on, which is all I want. I'd like to just get a pay rise as well. I mean, I've been while going to college, over that time I was working in restaurants, which was just so uncertain. It was like, at times it was great, and normally around Christmas it was fine, or like the summer, middle of the summer is fine, but in those gaps in between, you're really uncertain of if you have enough money in the next pay. And maybe I should have worked more, but it was hard to try and fit that in with school and everything else going on. But it's nice to sort of finally be in a position where I just think, I can work my way up in where I am at, rather than at a restaurant where I'm just doing it while going to school, studying political science, where I don't know what I'm going to take with that. No one believes anyone who studies their known field anymore. No one does. So what's the point anymore? So I just sort of decided to go something different, and now I'm in an area that I can actually grow in. Even though I'm at minimum wage now and I'm earning less an hour than I was at restaurants, I'm working more, and there's actually a sort of, I spoke to one of the technicians the other day. He was talking about their wage is like 34, 35, and he's one of the sort of more base level ones. So, that would be life-changing for me. And if I could stick to the kind of budgeting I've been on for the last few years, I'd adjust it slightly I'd be really happy with something like that. I'd be so happy.
Yeah. So would you not go back and finish the political science degree?
I want to go back, but I think it's more because of a pride thing. I think it's because I came all the way here. I came to the US to get a degree, and then after I've been here 6 years, and I had to kind of put a pause on that after 4 years. So I will do it. I have considered doing something different, maybe not political science, something similar, maybe like a sociology or something, but there's no real point to it. I don't know what I would do with it. It would just be because I have like a year left, so I may as well. And if I do it, I'm not going to do it with any loan. I want to just pay it outright, which is why it might be in 3-4 years' time. I can do night classes, or I don't know if that's at UCSD or somewhere else. I don't know. I don't really want to go back to UCSD. I don't really like sort of how they dealt with some things over when I was unwell, but
yeah. Do you still have loans from the...
Yeah, I think it's around 30,000 from, I think it's something like that. I think it's from Santa Barbara City College and UCSD. Obviously during COVID, I think there was like 1 or 2 emergency sort of loans that were taken out. I'm not planning on trying to take any more. I'm only taking from my Pell Grant with this, which I still have like 25% on, which is pretty good. But yeah, I don't plan on taking any more loans out. So if I can keep 30,000, I'm kind of like, if I can come out with a degree and 30,000 debt, that's not too bad. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then have those payments become due for those original loans?
That's something I actually discovered last week. I actually looked and realized that they've actually been due for a while. I guess something just wasn't. I guess when I left UCSD, I don't know if I guess I was supposed to communicate with them that I was changing and just going to Cuyamaca. I thought it would just inform someone along the way in the system. So then it would be, he's at school, so he doesn't need to make these payments. So I guess I need to call FAFSA at some point in the next week or so.
What are the payments like?
They don't look too crazy. It doesn't show that I'm late. It shows that I have been missing it for like 4 or 5 months, but it doesn't show I'm behind. It doesn't show I'm late, and it didn't look too crazy. I don't have the figures in my head at the moment, but it didn't look sort of, it looked like I might be able to call in. It might just be a situation of, okay, we didn't realize you were at school. Because, that's this government department, I'm assuming, so it's going to be reliable and quick to solve a solution.
Of course, yeah. As it should be.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those will be true. You definitely want to see if you can sort those out.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting kind of hit with this. Now the COVID era relief is over. They have this payments resuming now, and it's a bit scary to look at.
Yeah.
But, okay. Cool. So for now, let's assume, we won't have that obligation, right, for those loan repayments. Okay. So back to the transactions then. You had a Venmo to Cale Abramson, $24.50.
That's the car. So that was a partial. So I paid the rest, I think it was either cash or I paid like Apple Pay or something, but that was when I bought the car.
So the car was $2,500?
It's 26. I think there was like a limit, or I think I only had that's it. I had like a certain amount in cash, and then I had a certain amount in my bank, so I had to send him that and then give him the cash as the rest.
And what kind of car is it?
Volkswagen Jetta.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 230,000 miles. I was hoping to find something slightly better, but I was rushed for time, and then I needed to get to work, and it was like I worked 5-6 days a week, and it was just becoming a problem. And then I was moving, so I just wanted to get something, and went and saw that. It felt like the only issues were like suspension, which is fine. I work at a dealership, so I can just fix that myself, kind of cheap. That's a really good benefit that I've had, actually, because I replaced the CV axles on them, and I looked at the labor cost of what that would have been at a dealership. It's like $950, I think it would have been, and then the CV axles, I'm sure we would have charged more. Cost me $100 for the axles, and then maybe an hour and a half, me and someone at work doing it. So something like that's really useful. If I didn't have that and I had the accident, then I'd have been in a much worse situation.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's really convenient.
Yeah.
But what happened to the previous car though?
I crashed it. Yeah, I crashed it.
Okay.
There was an animal in the road, and it was late at night. The visibility was bad. Crashed it. Completely totaled. It was quite sad. Had it for like 3 years, but I was really worried that I hadn't, because I've sort of on and off on my insurance, I've changed some of the preferences and details of it just to save like $5-10 at a time, because in the last year or two it's been in that situation where saving $10 here or there is genuinely big difference. So I was really concerned that I hadn't done the what's the option where you like a loan repayment or like the option when you still owe money on a car.
Gap insurance.
That's it, yeah. I wasn't sure if I still had that or if I'd taken that off to save a few dollars at one point. Luckily, I still had it, so they covered almost all of it. I owed about $8,500 on it. They paid almost all of it. I think I owe $600 or $700 on it now. So it's bad situation. Missed the car, but in another sense, it's. Yeah, and I don't plan on ever getting a car that I have to make payments on ever again, as much as it's so tempting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this crash kind of saved you in that regard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What was your car payment
It
before?
was $259, and then the insurance was about $230 as well. And on this car, I was paying $140 where I lived in El Cajon, and then I've put my new address in around like Lemon Grove. I won't do the specific. I'll do the zip code along with. But that's halved it again, so it's gone from $140 to $70. So I've gone from paying like nearly $500, over $500 a month just for insurance and the car payment to $70 a month. Yeah, no car payment, just $70 for the insurance.
You were paying $230 a month in insurance for the Golf?
Yeah. So I've learned a few things. Apparently hatchbacks fall under the sports car category. So that's something that I didn't know. I thought it was just coupes or like one doors or smaller. I don't know. I didn't think a 4-door hatchback because I don't know, in the UK that's a family car. Here I guess it's kind of considered a sport car. So that was something. I guess it's also because I didn't technically own it outright. I'm guessing that's another reason. I do have a couple of speeding tickets, but nothing. It was just the 80. It's nothing like crazy. It was just 2. So I'm not sure. I don't know why it was so much. I don't know if it was Mira Mesa. As I said, when I changed from El Cajon to like the Lemon Grove area, for it to go from 140 to 70 was really weird. I'm not sure what the significance of that is. I don't know if it's worse or better area to worse area, or if that's simply what it is, or what. But that surprised me.
Yeah, the area plays a big part in the premium calculation.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're probably in like a safer area with less accidents, and that's what's making the premium cheaper.
My Citizen app says very differently, but I'll go along with it. It's saving me money.
Good. Okay. So moving along, we have Instacart for Aldi, $137.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty impressive to spend $137 at Aldi.
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Okay. I thought I did quite well. I think I do all right on groceries, but I guess that's generally for like 2 weeks. I'd say like two and a bit weeks normally. I don't know what it's possible it was a shop where I bought like laundry detergent or paper towels or something. I don't need to buy it that often, but it's possibly one of those. But I'd say That, I'd say between 100 and 130, 140 is what I would do per grocery. I try and do it in like 2-week blocks.
Yeah, if it's every 2 weeks, I think that's okay then. Okay. That's pretty reasonable. I thought this was maybe like a weekly purchase.
It's roughly that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Then we sent some Apple Cash, $1,100.
How much? 100?
1,100.
Oh, 1,100. Rent. Previous landlord lately. Was that March? Yeah. Yeah.
What's your rent currently?
1,200.
1,200.
Yeah.
Okay.
More than I wanted to pay.
Okay.
It was again a situation I was supposed to move in with somebody else, and then something sort of happened there. Some things fell through, and then I was in a rush to find somewhere, and I did find somewhere for 800, but the whole thing just felt very suspicious. She didn't know what I meant when I asked about the lease. She didn't know what a lease was. She said that she didn't have to provide me one because it was like I can't remember what it was. I think it was like it wasn't a 6 month, it was a month by month. So she said she didn't have to provide a lease. It's wrong. I looked it up, but it's, yeah. So I backed out of that because it just felt like I wouldn't be protected at all.
You might have saved your organs from being harvested.
Yeah,
by doing
yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
But I'd have saved $400. So, I mean, because it depends how much and which organs they want. I mean,
you only need one kidney, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you can live with just one. Yeah,
I think black market kidneys are more than $400 though, so that was a good trade.
Really?
Yeah. Not that I was.
Is this official advice?
No,
from
it's not
your channel. Because Tijuana's just there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then so for payroll, it looks like you're getting paid hourly, so it'll change week by week. But I think on average it looks like you're making about like $2,600 a month.
Yeah, roughly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get we also, for any upsells we get, it's not like a percentage or anything. We as lube technicians, we don't do that because I'm a sort of entry level still. We get like to roll some dice if we sell something. So every $50 we sell of something, we get to roll some dice or roll a dice, and then we get however many dollars of that. So I'll kind of get gas money almost covered every month if I look at it that way. For some of those months, there were some other costs that made it hard to stick to that. But in the last month or two, I've been able to kind of stick to the cash that I receive at work being gas money, which has been nice.
Yeah. What do you upsell? Like the air filters?
Like filters and cabin. Yeah. We're supposed to do it like we do a multi-point inspection, so it could be like windshields, any suspension, windshield wipers, sorry. Any suspension components we'll look underneath if it's like a high mileage vehicle or something like that. I can't speak for everybody else. I try and not do it for the sake of it or recommend stuff that isn't needed, but yeah, it does happen.
Well, yeah, if you have an incentive to upsell the customers, that's kind of unethical if you think about it. If they may not need a cabin air filter, you could always just push one on them regardless.
Weirdly, it's this. I was gonna say, it's the service advisors who kind of like push us to do it more. I mean, if you're a technician and you sell like the money you can earn if you sell like a front suspension component or something, because if it's something, if like 4 wheels, changing 4 tires on a car, it comes as 2 hours labor. There's people who can do that in 25-30 minutes, and then they get paid the full amount for doing that 30 minutes work, then go do something else that's 3 hours. It's all about like speed and like quantity, and it isn't great that I didn't want to do dealerships. There was a few reasons. I felt like it would be I didn't like the angle, the route, the sales sort of side of it, but it was just the easiest sort of route to go to from school. I kind of would like to move to an independent shop, but they're dying because dealerships and car companies are making it very hard to like work on your own car, or for independent shops to work on their cars. They're making it you have to come to the dealership. You have to do this. Oh, you want us to update your radio? You have to do an oil change as well at the same time. Stuff like that. They're trying to get you to kind of go to them and stay there. So it's kind of annoying, but there's also a part of me that recently just sort of thought, if you can earn some good money, you're enjoying it, you're happy, you can be as ethical as you can be. Because I don't know, stuff like that. Because I would agree, I'd rather work at an independent shop, but I need to try and figure out sort of what's best for me in this situation, even if it means selling a middle-aged woman an air filter that she doesn't need. And that happens, by the way. That That does happen. Like people go, oh, there's a woman trying to upsell this. Like maybe not as outright as that, but it's very common.
Yeah. What if you try that and then she's like, I have a reusable K&N air filter.
Yeah,
what
so
are you doing?
that's what I always check. Or the only time, so I don't always check the cabin air filter because sometimes they're just really awkward the way they are. And like we're supposed to try and be as quick as we can, so I'll often do the engine filter. I'll check that. If that's good, I'll assume that they do the cabin filter as well, and I'll just give it a tick. Which isn't maybe the best thing. If we were an independent shop, we'd probably take more time on it, but kind of what we do, that's what we do. But if it's dirty, I'll recommend the cabin filter without looking, but say due to engine filter condition and service history. So I'll look at the last 2 or 3 services to make sure they've not had a cabin filter. But the K&Ns I always write as a note on our RO. They've got a K&N filter for the next technician so he doesn't even need to check or something. Yeah. But yeah, there are other technicians who have recommended things where it's like they had that last service and they didn't check the thing, or they didn't actually look at the car or something. So it happens, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good to know. My suspicion is confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so I consolidated all the transactions.
Okay.
And the big thing here, it seems to be Amazon.
Yeah.
A lot of Amazon purchases. In the month of March, it was $571 total spent on Amazon.
I don't remember. Did I move March or April? I've forgotten if it's. I think it's June. If I moved in March, it was stuff like bedding and stuff because I hadn't bought like new bedding. I've had the same bedding and same clothes for like 2 or 3 years. So it was something like I think I was buying like cleaning stuff and things like that. But Amazon is a problem because I go, oh, I need this, buy it. I do that. It's at times really, like easy to do. It's great, but there are times where it's definitely a problem. I try and limit it. I find it's when I move, there's always a big amount spent on Amazon normally. So yeah, I think that would have been the 500, but
okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you buying though? Is it like essentials or is it kind of like frivolous?
Generally,
stuff?
yeah. I mean, if I look like now, I could look. It's mostly, it would be like shower wash or like body wash, stuff like that, or like cleaning stuff mostly. Because I think in my head, I look at it and I look at the price and I think, well, I could go to the store. I could like write it all down, go to the store and get it, I suppose. But it just works out probably about the same. I could be wrong, but then I know the ease of it then just makes it at the end of the month, a larger amount. I kind of get it. But yeah, it's mostly like soap, peppermint oil. We've had a insect problem in our house, so I'm trying to use that. Toilet bowl cleaner, all-purpose cleaner, toilet paper, indoor security camera for my dog. That's $10. Yeah, and then comforter covers. My dog peed on my comforter cover again. Yeah, she's done it twice. I don't know what her problem is. Just like I don't know. Maybe she's at that age now. Some non-alcoholic beer. By the way, do not recommend this. This is Tom Holland's beer, Kingston Pilsner. You got to up your game, Tom. Don't know what that was, but yeah.
Okay, so mostly
there's definitely a few things where I get here and I'm like, I didn't need this. Yeah. I didn't need this Milwaukee pen light. Like I could have survived without it. It didn't even load. But I'd say for the most part, it's just boring stuff that I use. But probably 1 or 2 of those I probably didn't need to.
Okay. Well then, because April's Amazon spending was $544. So were you still kind of
1,000? Oh wow!
Yeah. Were you still moving in April?
No, I don't think. Let me look at my calendar because now I'm like completely. It was the beginning of April. Sorry, it was the beginning of April. So yeah, no, I moved in April. I moved April 5th. So if most of the transactions are towards the end of March, it was because of that. If not, then I'm just spending way too much at Amazon. Which is probably right.
Yeah, most of the transactions were after the 18th, so
okay.
I think that makes sense.
It was probably stuff for moving, so it's probably like What did I buy to move? That's the thing. I say that, and then I'm like, I don't actually know, because I spent 1,050 or 1,060 over 2 months. I couldn't really say I spend that on toilet bowl cleaner. I don't fully know. I guess, yeah. Oh, I bought a bed frame.
Okay.
That was like 100 though. I don't know what that. Yeah. I'm not actually positive. I think it was just lots of small things, but probably not worth 1,060. So it's something I should probably think about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, that's like the biggest drain on your wallet right now is the Amazon.
I'm trying to think. I wonder if it's the same for like the last 2 months or something.
Yeah.
Or if it's just that. I feel like it probably wouldn't be quite that much, but I can have a look.
Okay.
Because if I could bring it up, I could.
Cool. All right. And then, yeah, so we can look at April too. I think there wasn't as much stuff in April. You had Rock Auto 275.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would have been the axles, and that would have been the stuff to fix my car.
Okay, so that was necessary.
Yeah, I think there was oil. I think probably the first one actually would have been oil, and there was something that was like, what was it? There was something like hanging. I've forgotten what it was. There was something that was like hanging off that needed doing in the first week without like question. It was like regardless of how much money I have, I need to get it.
Yeah,
I need to get to work and back. So
yeah. Okay. And we had Nike, $124.
Yeah, I bought shoes. Yeah, it was unnecessary. I had been like living off one pair of shoes for a while, and they were just getting wrecked. I was just wearing them every day, and I thought, okay, I'm going to buy another pair of shoes just so I'm not like ruining these. I don't know, I think I felt like I was at a point where I was like, I can spend a bit on shoes. Maybe not that much is the smartest thing, but I think I got socks as well. I haven't had socks for a while.
Yeah.
There's been a few things over the last 2 months, like a few sort of clothes or like bedding and stuff like that has been like long due. As much as it's kind of doesn't look great on a statement, it's kind of.
Yeah, no, it all kind of hits at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. Okay, and then another refund for the tuition.
Yeah.
What else do we got here? Oh, we had an overdraft in April. They charged you $30.
Wait, what was that?
From your savings account?
I don't think they charge. I think they took 30 from my savings. They don't. So far, I don't normally charge for overdrafts. I've been going into my overdraft quite often. I have a $50 overdraft on that card. I sort of normally get into that most like towards the end of. It's the last sort of maybe 8 or 9 months have generally gone. I get paid on the first or the fifth time I pay rent with that money. I am left with like 100, and then when I get the payment in the 2 weeks later, I spend that mostly on like card payments, or at the time car payments, or dog food, stuff like that. And then I have another like 2-3 weeks with not that much money, waiting for the next one. That's kind of how it's gone for the last sort of 8 or 9 months.
Yeah. Well, that's when you switched jobs, right? You started making less than what you were used to.
Well, I earn more now just because of the hours being more regular, and the overtime's not too bad. We get 25 an hour, and most days I'll hit at least like 15-20 minutes of overtime, which does add up nicely. So I'm earning more technically, just working more hours. Yeah, I think I'm in a better position than I was 4 months ago. I mean, like even from that, probably now, yeah, I'm sort of, which is why my questions would be more about savings, I think, and sort of where do I go from this point, and because my credit's bad as well. I don't mind that being in the podcast. It was for the last sort of 2-3 years. It was a question of, okay, I want to make payments to make sure my credit's good, because to get anything I need good credit, but also as soon as I make payments, I'm then left with $50 for 2 weeks. And then I'm like, and that's just terrifying for 2-3 years, and I'm kind of out here on my own as well, which can be slightly terrifying at times. So that's just the first thing that I wanted to make sure I kind of get out of. But it was difficult doing that as well as making payments towards lowering debt and trying to get a better credit as well. It's kind of hovered between like 540 and 590 for about a year and a half, 2 years, which is really frustrating because in the first 3 years of me moving here, before I had sort of a few issues, I got it to like 660 which starting from the beginning, I think was quite good in like 2-3 years. I was quite pleased, so it was really frustrating. Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess that's where I probably want to move towards, sort of better credit and figuring out savings and where to put the savings. And
yeah. Well, you were mentioning, right, you had some old credit card debt, which they weren't like collecting anymore, or at least they weren't actively trying to collect. So
I had 3 at the time when I was unwell. I had Apple Card and Discover and Bank of America. Bank of America were the worst to deal with out of the lot. You'd speak to them, they would instantly just say they wanted me to talk to the debt consolidation hotline. They wanted me to do that. I didn't want to do that because I didn't view it as long-term of an issue as they did. I felt like this is just an issue that within a year, if I have like a few things go right for me, I can get down. I don't want to commit to a plan that goes, I mean, not that you're tied to it, but Discover, they helped me a few times. It was like, oh, we'll lower the APR for you for 6 months. I think they did a 0% for 3 months as well. Like every single time I've said, hey, I can't make the payment this month. Is it possible to do that? They've been really helpful. I've managed to get that down to, I think it's like 400. I owed about 1,000 on it. The Apple Card I owed about 2,000. I've got that to 1,400. That's 0%. Apple Card again, like I think it's Goldman Sachs they use. Really helpful. Really, really, really helpful. Like it's not a situation I wanted to get into, but both Discover and Apple Card were very like good about how they dealt with it, and I was quite impressed. But Bank of America, just not helpful at all. So I probably stupidly just kind of said, okay, you're going to go to the back of the line then. I'm going to make payments towards Discover at Apple Card. You can kind of fuck off. And then eventually they just closed it. They closed the account completely. Which kind of scared me, but it was at a point where I didn't really have the money to like, I was tired. I didn't really know what to do. To my knowledge, that doesn't affect my credit right now. And I'm sure if it only would if I like, because it's gone to collections.
So I think what happened was they did a charge off.
Yeah.
Basically, they gave up on trying to collect the money from you, and they wrote it off as a loss on their books. But you still legally owe them.
Yeah,
money.
Of course. Yeah.
And it probably your credit took a big hit, I would imagine. I've
not seen anything on my credit. I have Credit Karma now. I used to use Experian. I keep track of it. There's nothing that shows up. I made a payment. I think a month ago of like $100 just to like sort of, I was trying to do that, and I kept communicating with them because that's what I've always been told you're supposed to do. My mum always told me that. She was like, if you're going to be in debt, at least like talk to them, make it clear that you're not trying to run away, you're not trying to hide from it, and like confront it. So I don't know if that's helped in that situation. I've not actually been contacted by the collection agency still. I can still make payments on the Bank of America app to them. So I was just going to gradually do that. But in my head, without actually speaking to them, which is probably what I should do, I was going to still try and make payments towards Discover. And
sure, if those aren't in collections, then continue to work with them.
Yeah.
But if Bank of America is in collections, I mean, you're already past the point of no return. I think what you should do is if they start to bug you, you should say, look, I'm not going to pay the full, whatever, 1,400?
2,200 now, or 2,200.
Yeah, you can tell them, I don't have 2,200. I'll give you 700 today, right now, and we can settle this. And then usually they'll be willing to take that.
Okay.
So if it comes to that, I would play hardball with them. Okay. Get it in writing.
Yeah.
And say, this is all I have. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And then see what happens.
Because each time I've called, I've said to them, look, I'm trying to work with you here. I'm calling you. I'm coming to you saying, look, other card companies have worked with me and I've got that debt down with them. I've halved Discover. I've over-halved with them because they worked with me a bit. They didn't go 0 either. They just went to like 12 from 20 or something like that, which is helpful, and it worked. Yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, I guess they just they expected that it would work in the end, and I just made the payment, but I didn't have the payment to make. I didn't have any money.
Yeah, the collections agencies, they don't expect to receive the full amount.
No.
I think they would maximum 50% is what they would expect to receive.
That's good to know.
So offer them less. Negotiate. Don't be afraid to lie to them. They're slimy people.
Yeah.
So even if you have more than that in your bank account, say, look, I only have $700-800.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It was kind of. I mean, I said it was my.
Yeah.
It was like it's a difficult situation because I had some credit card debt. It was like half of that before, but it was like manageable because I had the job where I was like gonna get a pay rise and it was kind of okay. And then just 6 months of no income was.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's your reason for getting into credit card debt, I think that's far less problematic than people who are just spending because they're not.
It's just frustrating because it's like the only way to. Because I'm harsh on myself about it because it's like no one knows that. Yeah. Like unless I say, hey, I had this happen to me, it's like no one knows the reason you're behind this. But that's like with everyone. People see people on the street and go, oh, look, they're in that situation. You have no idea why they're in that situation. Yeah. So
and quite frankly, nobody cares. Which is unfortunate. Yeah. But again, like I don't blame you for being in credit card debt. Like I think you're just dealing with the hand that was dealt to you. Yeah. Right. So, I would keep trying. I mean, the more stuff that goes into collections on your credit report, it's gonna take a hit. Credit. So, I would keep trying to work with Discover and
Apple Card. Yeah.
So work with them. The collections agency. I mean, treat them like the scum that they are. Right. Yeah.
That's good to know, actually.
Yeah.
Because what situation I'm in now is with Discover I owe like 400, and then the car is about I think it's 800. I could theoretically pay that off over the next month, like completely.
What's the interest on the car?
Oh, I've forgotten. I've forgotten the interest. I know it. I've completely forgotten the interest. I know it's not crazy.
But the credit card is probably more, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think there's just a part of me that just wants to get the car because I think that affects like your auto credit score or something. Mm-hmm. And really want a motorbike. And I'm not going to get one like on a monthly plan. But whenever I've gone to like inquire about it says something about your auto credit not being good or something. It's like annoyed me. I've considered I'd like a motorbike because it would be good for the gas mileage to get to work and back. I could skip traffic and also it'd just be fun. And I don't have anything fun right now. It's like I play soccer and I don't do anything else. I'm still playing video games every evening. So I want to go something like that. It's that or a running club. I don't want to do the PB running club, man. I've heard nightmares about the people that go to them.
Okay, don't go to PB running club. Just go to any running club.
Oh, I can't do it. I don't want to run with people.
Just the risk of you injuring yourself is not worth it.
I wasn't gonna get anything too crazy. I was gonna get like a little cafe racer.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna go to a track. I wasn't gonna get like a sport bike. I wasn't gonna weave in and out of traffic yet.
I would hope not.
No.
After you just crashed your car.
Yeah, but that was late at night on a mountain. No one was around. It's fine. Just me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But regardless, that should be like
it shouldn't be a
future type.
I know.
I think you want to take care of the outstanding car balance and then the credit cards too.
It's just some impatience. It's just like an itch.
Well, what other debt do you have besides those two?
So yeah, car 800, student loan 30,000 ish. Those cards
and anything that you're like making monthly payments on?
No. Genuinely, as of now, like this is the last like month or two after the car situation when I really sit down and look at it. As much as I panic because I think I've just got used to it over the last 2-3 years. I think I'm actually in a decent position. If I was 19, what a position I'd be in right now. It's just I'm 28, so it just feels less good. But especially when you work with like 19-year-olds who have land in Wyoming, it's like kind of But I'm kind of pleased where I'm at. And if I know where I was when I came back from Christmas from home, because I was in a really, like, it was after I was unwell, but like it was still rough. The year after that was still like financially really difficult. If I was sort of could see me now in the financial position I was in then, I'd be really happy. I'd be very happy, because there was points where me and my mum were discussing like bankruptcy, just because we didn't know what to do. I was just like, go home, go back to the UK, do bankruptcy here, just so I don't have to worry about it. So it's kind of nice to now be close to clear of that, to only be hundreds away. I mean, I know there's a couple that are thousands, but when I see other people talking about their debt and the debt they're in, it actually makes me sort of think, oh, you've made some decent choices in places that other people haven't. Because when I wanted that Golf, I also wanted a way more expensive car, and I had to talk myself out of it because I knew it wasn't the smart thing. So I made the smart choice out of a dumb choice, if you know what I mean. I could have got something way... It's not a good excuse, but...
Yeah. No, I mean, like, generally speaking, I think you overcame a really traumatic situation, and it could have been far worse than it is now. I think you're doing relatively well, given all that you've had to deal with in the past few years.
Yeah. Yeah. Could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. I mean, where do we go from here then? So we want to get out of debt.
Yeah, I think
we want to pay off the cards, the outstanding car balance, which is what, $4,000 total?
Car balance.
The $800 that you have for the old car.
Yeah, just $800. Yeah, just
Okay.
$800 I have to pay for the car. Because then I'd be done with that. Yeah. Because then technically, in terms of monthly payments, all I would have is the $70-something for insurance. Yeah. And actually now Wi-Fi. The new place that I was in didn't come with Wi-Fi. I only realised that after I moved in. It was kind of weird. I was in such a rush, and because my credit's bad, and I was so terrified that anywhere I'd go would just run my credit and go, oh no. So I would just pretty much just say yes to anywhere that offered a place to me. And it's a really nice room. It's got a balcony and an ensuite. It's just like $1,200, which was 100 or 200 more than I was kind of aiming to pay. But then with 500 less a month with the car, it kind of helps. But yeah, I'm now paying, was it $55 a month for Wi-Fi? Which is, it's fine. Like I did 2 months without it. I lived, but it's easier with it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're not spending a lot on entertainment, unnecessary things. I think, so let's call the outstanding debt, what is it? 4,000? Is that like an accurate number?
Yeah, I'd say roughly that. Yeah, like it all added up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if we assume that this Amazon spending doesn't continue moving forward,
I'll delete the app today.
You'll delete
that? I'll delete it, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, there'll probably be like one or two things where...
Well, if things are cheaper to get on Amazon, get them on
Amazon.
Yeah.
I think it's also just sometimes it'll be like when some of that actually... Oh, a lot of that was probably when I didn't have my car, and there were things like I'd probably crashed my car, so I probably bought things that I otherwise would have gone to pick up or something as well. Maybe it's that. Even then, 500 is too much in a month for someone who earns 17 an hour. But yeah, I'll probably, if not delete it, I'll just completely reduce and keep an eye on what it is I'm buying.
Yeah.
But I know I did buy like a couple of like furniture type things, so nothing crazy, just like the basic stuff. But
yeah, no, I mean $500 a month. If you set that aside and then put that towards the debt, you'd be done in what, 8 months?
Yeah,
you'd knock this out.
That's my aim as well. I was like aiming to try and be done by the end of the year with everything but student debt. I mean, student debt it's not real, so it's fine.
Yeah. I think, I mean, if you really want to get detailed with it, I think every month you just, maintain a spreadsheet, and I can help you do that.
Yeah.
And just put together a plan of what you want to spend that month. I would say first, before you start paying off the debt, I would build up like a small emergency fund.
Yeah, I've been wanting to try and do that.
Like maybe $1,000 just for the, something else on the car breaks. Or something, right?
Yeah.
So do that, and then I think we go hard into the debt.
Yeah.
And 8-9 months, I think, we're looking pretty solid.
Yeah. Can start actually looking at saving. Because I think I've been trying to do all of it at once. Because occasionally I'll just put some money in a savings account, like 100 or 2.
Yeah.
Even though I owe money on things, so it's like, there's no real reason to do that. And I know I'm going to take it out probably in 2-3 weeks. But I would try and do that. I think that's a situation I've been in for a while, where I'm trying to do too many things when I really should just be focusing on the one thing, which is debt. That's probably put me back a few months, actually. It's probably put me in some situations where I'm like, I shouldn't have put that money there.
Yeah. Well, do you use the SoFi savings account?
I try to. It's got a decent. I think it's now 3.7 or something. When I first joined, it was like 5 point something. But the last
interest rates have gone down since then. Probably.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Okay, that's good, because I think the checking account has 0.5%. So.
Yeah, which is
well,
better than Bank of America. I don't know. I had a couple of bank accounts in the UK, and Bank of America is the worst bank I've ever used. Yeah,
they have the worst reputation.
Oh, they do. It was just the first. I don't know. When I moved here, week 1, I was in Santa Barbara. I just walked down the main street, and there's just a big Bank of America. Oh, it's Bank of America. It's the big one. I'll go there.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just what I did in my head, and went in there. I just didn't think about it from that point.
Yeah.
And then I did some research with SoFi, and I found a lot of people said good stuff. And I don't know. I found the online thing kind of worked well. It's pretty reliable. It's been good for me so far.
Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, if they're offering 3.7%, that's what you can find at a high yield savings account anyway. So you don't need to go and open up a separate. You can just use the same savings account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, build up. Take the next couple of months. I would build up the $1,000 for emergencies, and pay like whatever the minimum obligations that you have, right?
Yeah.
Which would maybe be the car. And
Discover probably. And I guess Apple Card, because that's not too high of a payment, even though it's 0%. It's because it's just a higher amount. It would be good to just keep the payments. I don't know. I could be because I think it's like $1,400. I can't remember when the 0% interest runs out. I think I asked them like a month ago, and I didn't get a straight answer. Or it was just it was a very good answer that was like, oh no, you're good, just like no time frame. I can't remember.
It's probably the former,
because I have actually that's I do have 400 with PayPal credit actually. That's just that's 0%. I used that when for stuff when I moved as well, when I was unwell. That's 0%. I've been making $17 payments for like. That's like a 2-year-old debt, actually. That was before anything really happened.
What's the interest on that one?
Right now it's 0%. In general, I can't remember. It wasn't too bad. It was less than the majority of credit cards.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I just made some poor decisions on that one. But that's 0%. I've been making $17 a month for the last like 2 years, and that's been nice to have it at 0% again. So yeah. Yeah, I did remember that one.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they're offering 0%, ride it for as long as you can until you build up the little emergency fund, and then we move along to the big stuff. Well, that's good.